Sex crimes in Washington state was investigated by Tampa Police 4 years ago after a Tampa General Hospital patient reported allegations of sexual misconduct.
And I-Team investigator Adam Walser talks to the alleged victim who believes local police failed her, putting other patients at risk.
I cry at night. I do have nightmares.
Shavaria Webb-Green says her nightmares started after a visit to the Tampa General Hospital emergency room on July 29, 2018. USF Medical School resident Dr. Josiah Hill was her treating physician. This video from 6 years earlier shows the day Dr. Hill received his white coat and took an oath to do no harm.
We've all had a long journey to get here. It's very exciting.
How's that feel just to look at him and see his face?
It disgusts me.
This is Hill in a Washington state courtroom October 26th.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, thanks for being here today.
The I-Team reviewed Florida Board of Medicine public records and found no complaints or disciplinary action involving Hill. But Hill now faces charges of rape and indecent liberties for alleged sex crimes against 4 patients while working as an emergency physician at Olympic Medical Center in Port Angeles, Washington, a coastal town with 20,000 residents close to the Canadian border.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hill has pleaded not guilty, and his attorney says Hill denies any misconduct and looks forward to clearing his name.
Everything is predatory in nature. So now what is to stop him from finding new victims?
Something was off with him.
Shavaria says Hill treated her after she was taken by ambulance to the hospital for vomiting and abdominal pain.
The nurse comes to the room and starts setting up a vaginal exam kit. And I'm like, why are you doing this if I'm just here for like head pain and abdominal pain?
Shavaria later told police that Dr. Hill didn't wear gloves and touched her inappropriately while a nurse was in the room.
In my head, the whole time, I was like, this is not right. I'm reporting this.
Shavaria reported the incident to patrol officers July 30th. A detective was assigned the next day but didn't contact Shavaria until 9 days later. The detective reviewed her medical records before going to Hill's home on September 9th, 6 weeks after the incident. According to the report, Dr. Hill requested the interview be stopped for counsel to be present. A criminal defense attorney called the detective saying he would not allow an interview with Dr. Hill. A nurse told the detective she did not recall the patient or the encounter, but described Dr. Hill as one of the good doctors. Shavaria decided not to pursue the case.
I cry about this all the time because I blame myself for that.
Why?
Because I feel like if I would have kept pushing it and kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, that somebody would believe me and that he wouldn't have never went over to Washington State.
If you have a one-on-one type of crime where you have he said, she said situation.
Retired Los Angeles Police Lieutenant Mark Evans, who has investigated more than 4,000 cases, reviewed the Tampa and Washington State police reports. He says successfully prosecuting sexual assault cases often depends on multiple victims coming forward.
We would like to find other victims who are corroborating, hey, something fishy happened to me as well that I perceived as a crime.
A Port Angeles police affidavit says Dr. Hill performed acts too graphic to talk about during dinner hour on TV. In one case involving a car crash victim who faded in and out of consciousness. The report says surveillance video supports some patients' claims, and a review of his prescribing found a combination of drugs that could potentially cause significant physical and psychological effects.
Does that affect things when people are taking medications, when they've suffered a trauma, when they may not recall 100%?
They're not credible. They have mental problems or sedated. So those are all things that could fuel a perpetrator's belief that they could get away with something.
I have issues too, mental health issues, and I've tried to hurt myself since this happened. Like I've tried multiple times to not be here anymore because I felt like nobody would ever believe me.
In a statement, Tampa Police said our detectives dedicated a considerable amount of time thoroughly reviewing the allegations. A Tampa General Hospital spokesperson said Hill passed an initial background check, and the hospital had no records of any allegations against Hill during his residency. The hospital said it first learned of the allegation on January 17th. Saying TGH will be filing a report on this matter with state health regulators and stands ready to assist any law enforcement inquiries as needed.
Come on, buddy.
Shavaria says Port Angeles detectives contacted her and have spoken to her multiple times.
I give them so much props because they did better than my state did. And they investigated and they believed me.
Dr. Hill's bond was reduced from $1 million to $200,000, and he's been ordered to wear an ankle monitor. His trial is set to begin in April. I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan taking action for you.
And you can read the full statements from Tampa Police, Tampa General Hospital, and Hill's attorney, and find information about how to report sexual assaults at abcactionnews.com.